Pope John Paul II covered up abuse by priests before becoming pope. Save you a click. Quote from the article. I found concrete cases of concrete priests in the Archdiocese of Krakow, where the future pope was archbishop, who abused children. The future pope knew about it and nevertheless transferred those men. That led to new victims, Overbeek told Knows. The reasoning of the Church of the Defenders of the Pope boils down to the fact that he would not have known, that he understood the seriousness of the situation very late, and that he first thought it was America's problem. All those arguments can now be dropped, he added. Sinead got cancelled trying to tell us. Lamawa at the church covering up abuse? No way man s. Sinead was right all along. It's a shame what happened to Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor deserves an apology. Did anyone think he didn't? I mean, the Catholic Church is the oldest, and the largest pedophile ring in the world. Bill Burr said it. Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? Isn't that like a requirement to get up in the ranks of that crime syndicates? Again, we're sorry, Sinead. I believe that is question number 1 on their application. I believe the sentiment in Poland is 2137. Doesn't make the man with the 2 dominatrixes look so bad now, does it? No one is going to get to be pope, or one of the candidates for pope, or one of the people who vote for popes, or candidates for those positions for the foreseeable future unless they've either abused children or helped cover it up. There's just too many people at the top of the church already who aren't going to let anyone else on top of the pile unless they can be depended on not to expose anyone else because they are also guilty. It's in his job description. I think it would be easier to list the priests who didn't cover up the abuse. I guess Sinead O'Connor is now vindicated. Sinead O'Connor, I hope, will get an actual apology for blowing this up decades ago. The media treated her like absolute garbage for exposing this. Big fucking surprise. Where are all the conservatives raging about protecting children? Just saw some bullshit on a different thread, and I referenced abuse in churches to prove a point that people who want to protect kids spewing bigoted shit under the guise of giving a shit about children and their well-being don't give a single shit about this. And it's all over the place. Shit is a fucking problem and needs to be addressed yesterday. I'm sure any minute now Republicans will see this evidence and attack power substations connected to Catholic churches. Wait, that won't happen because they really don't care about child abuse. They just hate LGBTQ people. Pope, insert any pope name here, covered up abuse by priests before becoming pope. How do you think they become pope? This guy has covered up 1,000s of abuse cases, he's the best in the business. Head pedo covers for other pedos? Shocking. In other news, the Pope does indeed wear a funny hat. Former leader of the world's largest pedophilic sex cult knew about all the pedophilia. And in other news, water is wet. Well, I am just absolutely shocked and flabbergasted by this news. Poland politicians going to find a way to excuse this while saying gay bad at the same time. Isn't that Saint Pope John Paul II? It's pretty fucked up that I live near a school named after him. The only thing that makes me sad about not being a Christian is that these men won't rot in hell. I mean, is the Pope Catholic? Oh, so that's why they upgraded him to saint. Just change the headline to Pope covered up abuse by priests and the writer can just resubmit the same article every 6 months. Easy peasy. Do you honestly think the church can find someone old enough to be pope that hasn't covered up abuse? Color me doubtful. I'm shocked. Not shocked. Isn't that a prerequisite to becoming a cardinal? Just doing his job to make sure religion abuses as many people as possible. Guess what he's a saint of? Can we come for the Catholic Church yet? Or are still allowing them to be shielded? So far I've heard more about Hunter Biden's computer than I have about the world's large pedo ring that protects themselves by acting like gatekeepers for an afterlife. And every pope before and after. And they made him a saint. WTF? I thought this was a prerequisite. In other news, grass is green. No child's behind left. These motherfuckers need to start paying taxes. Remember this the next time the current pope speaks some bullshit platitudes that sound good. The church didn't stop covering sexual abuse up, and it didn't stop protecting the priests that were guilty of it. Until such a time as they release everything from their archives, and stop protecting these criminal priests, they are the same scumbag organization. How the hell else was he going to get the pope job? I bet that's how he earned the position. Abuse being covered up is not a shock to most people by now. That's why they voted him in. Duh. And he got to die without facing any consequences. Imagine how many more get to go to their heavenly reward without facing any tangible justice? Catholic priests, abuse, and covering up. Some things never change. Does a pope crap in the woods? Didn't they make him a saint? No wonder everyone voted him in. He's their savior. I really don't understand how people still trust the church at this point. Shows how powerful their grip really is on people. I dare say he became pope because he covered up abuse, but I'm just Kermit sipping on tea. Well, is anyone really surprised that the freaking pope helped to cover up abuse by its clergy? Color me shocked Pikachu fave. No shit. You don't become the pope without knowing stuff. We know this. Nothing is ever done about it though. Always protected. Gross. Cover up this abuse, and we'll make you pope. Quid pro quo.